Alright, it's been a long time since I've recorded a video, and this one is probably not going to be super long. It's basically just going to be covering the last Christmas update, version 173. Not going to go into too much detail, and then one thing to say before we get into it, the title of this video will probably be a little bit clickbaity. I can't say anything for certain in the title. I am not really a player of the game, I am a developer, so it's a bit biased for any of my opinions on how good the event actually is. You'll have to debate amongst yourself in the comments section or whatnot, if you actually want to determine how good it is. But from what I've seen in Discord, a lot of people would probably agree with me that this is one of the best updates that we've had, both this year and probably in the last 3 years of Ghost Simulator. At least in terms of how much stuff there is to do. In terms of design, it's probably not as good just because some of the stuff I'm bad at designing. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So there's basically this brings back the whole world that we've had in the previous 5 years of Ghost Simulator with that Christmas world back. It has all the areas that have previously been here, all the ghosts, with a small expansion area over here where the Easter area used to be for 2022 and 2023, actually 2021 as well, where there was a whole Easter area over here with eggs and stuff. It has now been replaced with a more thematic area with gifts, trucks, and called the Gift Depot. I can't remember what I named stuff. Anyways, it has a new set of ghosts. In terms of NPCs, it is exactly the same as you'd expect in all the previous years. 3 elves, blue elf, green elf, and head elf. Yeah, okay, this is me from the future part of the video. You guys will see this at the end later too, because I'm not cutting this out. But yeah, one of the biggest changes that we have made this year has been an increase in pricing on stuff. Mainly, this is seen in snowflakes, but there's also a little bit that has happened in keys. We'll cover that a little bit later. But basically, things have been super priced up, and this is basically to make these things a little bit more valuable in a sense. It's more of just hard to get rather than valuable. Most people will still be able to get all of these items, one of them, and call it a day for their snowflakes. But the idea is to go ahead and make it a little bit more of a grind to get these items and to make them, you know, just a little bit more special. Whether or not their looks match up to that is to be determined, but this also helps keep up with some of the inflation that we've had with gum, which we never really accounted for pricing wise for most crates. Like crates even up until I think until this year have always started at 500. Which is actually the most expensive crate in 2019 price-wise before we got gum. So at least 5x that, and then also I think a little bit more just because we are used to a little bit more grinding in a sense. I don't know. But basically, it is actually balanced, though. It should be actually not too difficult to go ahead and, like, it looks outrageous to have a board price at 750,000 snowflakes. But legitimately, when you see the balancing on this, even though like ghost drops got nerfed, the infinite quest is actually balanced to be approximately the same as a normal event, someone grinding with glitchy loot or enchanted loot gum on ghosts time-wise. So it's pretty good, and the idea there is to make it so that gum isn't as useful in this event, and it's more on grinding rather than having endgame resources on stuff. Same thing with the reason why Infinite Quest is kind of the best. In addition to this, as I said before, keys got a little bit of pricing changes. With the pity recipes, you are expected to spend a little bit, actually less on the... Actually, you're expected to spend less on both the 30 and the 3 key chest, which is kind of silly. I think it might be a little bit more on the 30 key chest. But the biggest change is the 250 mythicals are actually now up to 500 mythicals. Balance-wise, this is actually perfectly in line because it is balanced to be basically without using enchanted boss gum or 2x boss drops. People are able to basically grind that from either the tower or the infinite quest with literally no game passes. But if you do buy the event pass, it does get doubled in the event, in the Infinite Quest or the tower, which, you know, sounds a bit broken until you realize that's basically how all the game passes work in the game, and it's only for an event. So, you know, limited time, doubling, not actually as broken as it sounds. But yeah, that's the biggest pricing balance changes. Anyways, back to the video, which you need to go ahead and do to unlock the tower. This year, you only need to do head elf to unlock the tower. I don't think it's displayed up here because I was being bad at programming. And then there's actually a new sword set up to the events in general, where there's a bonus biome in the world. Usually, maps haven't had bonus biomes, but you'll need to go ahead and complete Green Elf to go ahead and unlock the bonus biome here. As you can see, you need the Snow Cleaner 2000, which you get from Green Elf. Yeah, that's it for the map. It's a bit different than last year, but overall pretty good. To go over the quests, I guess, really quickly, since I started already, Head Elf is the main quest in here. She unlocks the tower and more or less guides new players through this Christmas world. She's not a very long quest, probably will take around 30 minutes to do as a new player, or as a returning player, assuming you have, like, most of the decent perks. Green Elf is a side quest, and she helps you unlock this biome. She probably takes around an hour to go ahead and do as a returning player to the game. And provides actually decent rewards. Both of them are balanced to be actually pretty good. And then last off, we have Blue Elf, which is actually our first Infinite Quest NPC in an event, which basically will provide as many quests as you want to do, with pretty decent rewards. Ignore that ghost movement. That is a feature of a ghost changes I made a few months ago. We don't need to worry about them being a little spaghetti. But yeah, you can do infinite quests. It is actually the probably best thing to do in the event for currency and stuff. So people seem to enjoy it. It's maybe not the best, but it is something that we've been trying out new with that event quest line. Anyways, now that we're done with the quests, we can actually get into some of the main actual features involving what there is to do. To start off with, we have normal ghosts. Normally, ghosts always have the same amount of health and always drop like the same amount no matter what biome. In this event, we tried something new. Basically, ghosts in this first area actually have less health, and then it actually scales up as you get up into further areas. For instance, these are the first area ghosts. You saw 250, 375. If we go down here, these ghosts have 500 or 750. If we go into the third set of areas, which will be the gift depot and the elf village, which they'll have 750 and 1150. I don't remember what these are. And then the last area is the bonus biome, which will have 1,000 and 1,500. And then this area down here, the ski slopes, will have the same as the ice cave or ice cavern, icicle cavern. Anyways, the point being that all the ghosts in the world actually have different HP, and then different amount of snowflake drops, which should make it interesting. On top of that, all the ghosts actually have additional drops, with there being a small chance from any ghost for you to get a key, a uncommon, or a rare gift, which we'll get to later. Don't worry, there's quite a bit more to cover in this event, which I'm starting to realize will make this not a short video despite me saying it's a short video at the start. On top of that, the ghosts from the bonus biome actually have a higher chance of dropping a key, higher chance of dropping the 2 gifts, and also have a small chance at dropping a legendary gift, making them pretty good to go ahead and grind for overall. It's not a super high chance and probably isn't as good as the other ways to get the gifts, but does make it a little bit more interesting when you're going ahead and vacuuming ghosts. That being said, the amount of snowflakes ghosts do drop on average has been slightly reduced. This has mostly been balancing, but I don't think too many people have noticed, and the way they're spread out does actually mean that if you are focusing on the higher health ghosts, you could technically be above average for that. In addition, all the snow piles have now been extended from just in the frozen lake to be in every single biome, and then they also drop exactly 30 snowflakes no matter what drops you have going on. And I guess that's something I didn't mention with the other drops from the normal ghosts. Keys and gifts, you can only get 1 drop from them no matter what drops are running. Very similar to how Lucky Cat works with the Lucky Cat back. Same thing with the snowflakes dropped from snow piles. This is probably makes a decent amount of sense since, you know, it's a snow pile, not a ghost. So it makes sense that it always has the same amount of snow in it, which, you know, most people know that ghosts, or that snow piles are technically underlying ghosts, but, you know, we can ignore that for the sake of logic stuff other ways. Anyways, that is ghost covered. The other cool thing in the main area of the game that's been added, on top of infinite quests and different ghost health, is this new present event. This will spawn in any of the biomes in the game, any of the 6 biomes, and will go ahead, drop from the sky, and then allow the players to go ahead and interact with it and go break it just by clicking on it. You can do this with or without a vacuum. It's kind of intended to be without a vacuum, since that's when you get the cursor, but you know, due to programming stuff, it is actually able to do with the vacuum, which is helpful sometimes when you get like a ghost spawn, but yeah. Anyways, breaking this will go ahead and give you a random reward, and everyone who actually helps break it, you do need a certain amount of help percentage, similar to how bosses work, which isn't super intuitive, but it's actually pretty easy to meet, so it shouldn't be too confusing for most players if you don't get it, that what's going on. But yeah, it'll go ahead and give you a random drop. Most significantly, this will drop, usually it's going to be snowflakes or a random event. It can ambush you with ghosts or spawn a mini boss like Mr. Present or the new Miss Present. But it can also, the main purpose is giving you gifts, mainly the godly and legendary gifts, because everyone gets way too much of uncommon and rare gifts due to balancing issues. But yeah, it can be unlocked, get some cool gifts. They're free for everyone who helps unbox it, and it's actually pretty cool, from what I've heard. It's at least novel. Probably not something super interesting for it to ever return next year, just because it is kind of a boring event in my opinion, even though I'm the one who came up with it, since you do just kind of sit there and click on a gift for 20 seconds, 40 seconds, 80 seconds. But it does give you some cool rewards. The presents it gives is probably the biggest thing. And now, as I've said before, there have been new items added this year, and that would be gifts. I would just go give myself some, just so I can show them off. But yeah, okay, just a second. Pause recording. Alright, minor dev abuse. Pretend I grinded these legitimately. This is definitely where I'm going to argue the fact that I spent way too many hours working on the event, so therefore I haven't had time to grind the event. Otherwise, I would just grind these myself and show them off before I became a dev. But anyways, there are 4 different types of gift. Actually, let me search gift really quick. Yeah, 4 new gifts added this event. Apparently, oh yeah, because codes. Codes that were added. Uncommon gifts, rare gifts, legendary gifts, godly gifts, corresponding rarity, pretty obvious. On average, I've said this before in like Discord and stuff a few times, so it won't be super secret news to my followers. But on average, I balanced it. I actually did a lot of balancing on this event, but it isn't like 100% true to what I've actually done. Balancing, it takes about 3 hours to get a godly gift, about an hour to get a legendary gift, 20 minutes per rare gift, and then about 5 minutes per uncommon gift, which is a general idea of how rare they are. They have decent drops if you look at them. Everyone except for the uncommon gift will drop keys and snowflakes, whereas the uncommon gift will always drop snowflakes and will have a 25% of chance of dropping a key. Obviously, balancing was done. And then they all have chance of getting pets and boards, some more than others. Like this one only has both the legendaries, and then this one has both legendaries and a godly, and then this one only has both the godlies at decently high chances, actually. Overall, nothing super interesting over. This is kind of a replacement with the advent calendars, but in a kind of a more exciting thing since they are more of loot baggy. Overall, the best thing to get from it would be this truck thingy and the godly gift, but it's only a 20% chance, so if you do the math, it's about 15 hours to go ahead and get one of those on average, assuming the 3 hours per godly gift actually holds up to actually be reasonable based on what people actually grind, not just what me, a developer, thinks I put into the game, which are 2 different separate metrics, guys. Just because I say something does not mean it's true about the game. But anyways, yeah, that's the new gift system. There's definitely room to expand this. I just don't know if we might do it this year or if it will be something that ends up happening next year, because I definitely feel like this is one of the more exciting things that will probably be kept going forward with years, just because it's kind of a cool system. But if you guys disagree, let me know in the comments. And then last up, we have the tower. I started working on this, and I only got 7 out of 15 on the first quest, so I'm just going to have to go over it in vague detail. It seems to be probably the most enjoyable tower we've had in the last 2 years. So, you know, that's good to hear from others. Again, bias as a developer, but that's what I've heard from others. But there has been one new floor type added, and then one small change to one of the floor types added this year for the Christmas tower. The biggest thing added, or the biggest change, was actually the addition of new puzzle floors, which is basically exactly what it sounds, a series where you have to complete puzzles to go ahead and progress through it, and then, you know, finish it up. Like, you can think similar to obbies if you did the obby rooms in previous years, where you just sort of progress in a linear way. They aren't the most complicated puzzles. There's currently 5 of them. One, you just kind of pick a door. If you're wrong, go spawn. If you're right, the door opens. You progress on to the next one. You do that 3 times. Kind of boring. There's a small bug in it, which people hate. I'm sorry, guys. Bugs happen in the game. They'll be fixed in part 2. The next one is snow, which is basically just a bunch of snow piles spawn, similar to, or exactly like all the ones that we have here in Main Hub. And they just sort of, you have to go vacuum them all to progress. Again, pretty simple. Pretty fun, though, from what I've heard. Next one is called Scavenger Hunt. Basically, there's items hit around. You have to go find the item and click it. Probably the most difficult one. Probably helpful to have 3. But in the room, if you click in wrong item, it gets flung, so it can be kind of fun. If you get lost or finding it, you can just start throwing stuff everywhere, which I think is kind of cool. I definitely am ignoring the fact that that probably is a bit lagging on the server to have that many click detectors, but we're ignoring that for now. Next up, we have the I Spy one, where basically, similar to the Scavenger Hunt, a bunch of ghosts spawn. You have to click the right one that's shown on a sign. There's a small bug in that one. Try not to vacuum the correct one after vacuuming an incorrect one super quickly, because if the next one that you have to find is the one you just vacuumed, it can cause an infinite loop that causes problems. So please don't do that. Or, well, you can do that. It just might soft lock your game. I don't have any control over that. And then the last one is a maze one, where basically levers are hidden in a maze. You have to go find them. Once you figure out where they spawn and how to not click the wrong ones, there's a little light over the door that indicates which color you actually have to go flick. And there's kind of... It's really simple right now, because there's always one incorrect one that's always the same color, and one correct one that's always the same color. It's pretty easy to memorize. It's also helpful for colorblind people too right now. I thought about that. I'm like, I could make this complicated. And I'm like, wait, maybe I should just make this simple. Make sure colorblind people can actually do it. Not that I'm 100% sure they can do the rest of the game, but I'm going to avoid it in new stuff as much as possible, making sure it's colorblind friendly. But yeah, that is all the 5 new puzzle floors. Overall, it sounds like people find them pretty exciting. The rest of the tower is pretty similar to previous years, so if you played then, you'll know then. If you haven't played then, I guess you can go check out in the tower yourself and see how they are. The biggest change compared to previous years is going to be that it's 8 floors instead of 6. That was sort of a balancing time-wise, because I was looking at it, and the amount of time required to beat each floor for the desired 12 minutes of tower made it a little bit boring per floor. So adding a few more floors made it so the floors were quicker, but also still kept the average time for the mega boss at the end. Because there is a new mega boss at the end, which at the floor 8, you'll always be able to go ahead and face Snow Angel, which is the newest mega boss in the game, and is actually designed for 2023, and all the attacks are actually planned by the previous developers, Royal Flush and probably Mackie worked on that. I don't know if Guro 7 was helping with that. I'm fairly sure it's Makimon and Royal Flesh that planned it. I added the attacks, so, you know, if there's bugs, that's my fault. If you like the attack layout, that is Royal's good job. And if you like how the boss is animated, that is our animator's thing. So, you know, pretty much, I don't know actually who modeled the boss. I think it's Garlic's design of the boss. And yeah, so it's a group effort. It's definitely less us new developers than the Halloween boss was. But with how much other stuff we were doing new this year, it definitely really helped to have that from last year. It definitely sped up. Ooh, overcharge is super big. Definitely sped up production quite a bit to have that ready for us. Anyways, I think that is it for this event. From what I've seen, people like it. I guess there's crafting changes in the tower. I guess I can go show you guys. There's no way I can get in, so it's going to be. But basically, instead of this year, I went with a full, or maybe not a full pity system, but a mostly pity system where I actually decreased the chances of most of the extra items in the 3 and 30 key chests, like the rares and up. And then added recipes for all of them. Basically with the express idea that you'd unbox the lower ones and then craft them up to the higher ones, which should make it so you get less random useless stuff because you're able to craft it all the way up. And then once you have everything, you can just stop unboxing them from the crate if you want to, which should be better for everyone. But, you know, if you guys don't like it, we can go back to the old RNG system where you have to spend somewhere between 20 and 133 crickets to, you know. Some people do prefer that actual method. Like, as silly as it is to say, there's legitimate reasons to prefer the full RNG method. And it is because it makes those rare items worth more in terms of rarity, because people do actually have to unbox for it. But it does make it a lot more frustrating to have an RNG-only method. So I've tried to filter it out that way. But, you know, if you guys, again, with anything in this update, if you guys have preference, let me know. This is a 20-minute video. If you guys want to make a 20-minute paragraph essay in my comment section, I will go ahead and read it on your thoughts on this event. I feel like it came out pretty well. There's definitely areas that could be improved. I'm not saying it can't be better. I'm just saying I think it is one of the best events we've had in Ghost Simulator in a while. There was one thing I remember, and that was why I was coming back here. There's been one other change that I forgot to mention. I really should just add this to the beginning. Actually, magic skip. Here we go. All the way back to the beginning. Yeah, okay, this is me from the future part of the video. You guys will see this at the end later too, because I'm not cutting this out. Now that we're done with that, repetition again, because, you know, actually, I should have cut that out. Anyways, now that we're done with everything in the event, I think we should go ahead and close it off. I am sorry, I haven't been recording videos recently, or streaming. I would blame it all on development, but it's not all development. It is not me being sick, although you guys can probably hear that in the video. It's not bad sick. It's like literally just a whole bunch of phlegm. It is mostly me being lazy and not wanting to record / not thinking I have the time to record. Mostly the first one though. Anyways, hopefully with the new year I do start recording a bit more. It should become a little bit easier for me to go ahead and record. Yeah, there's leaderboards I didn't talk about. There's so much I did this. Oh my, there's so much I did at this event that I didn't even like remember to bring up in this video, and we're already up to 25 minutes. Like, you know, this whole thing that changed the advent calendar, that's broken. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys don't mind, but hopefully you guys would appreciate if I start streaming more and have it completely abandoned ship after I don't stream for 3 weeks, 3 months almost, and make a video or a good video in the last year. I want to do that starting next year. Yeah, look at that. I have no idea why I can claim this 7th one, but you can. Basically, there's a disconnect between what the server and the client thinks you can unlock. Ignore it. You do need to just try it. Anyways, I have no idea why I'm rambling. Video should be already over now. Bye. See ya. Hopefully I do a stream sometime later this year. I definitely should. But yeah, probably doing Friday Christmas time. Anyways, see you for real this time. Bye.